Welcome to Blade HQ, everybody. Today is April 29th, 2024, the last Monday in April, and we are covering new knives for the week. Starting with this new from Benchmade Adira series. This is the mini Adira. And this is the water line. The water line has landed, or I guess docked is the pun we're going with. And I'm in love. I remember we saw these at the beginning of the year when Benchmade came by to show off their new stuff. And they've really smashed it out of the park here. We got an axis lock with the new pinched spring system. You'll have to take it apart and see that for yourself. Magna cut blades on all of the above and this beautiful blue. I hope that new colorways come out. The blue is cool, but I think some simple black or maybe OD green would be great on this as well. But that Magna cut, and for great prices too. We're looking at $207 for this guy. And that is a nice big knife, a lot of Magna cut, well treated, USA made, backed by Benchmade's warranty. $207 is not a bad price. We see less apportioned knives made in China for more quite often. So I do like this. Very well done, Benchmade. They have the mini and the large size coming out shortly, as well as the Fishcrafter line. Now my friend Kendall over here at Blade HQ is a copywriter and she loves to fish. Probably 3 nights a week she and her husband are out fishing. And she said this is the perfect knife for her because, first of all, it's a Magna cut steel blade, so it's going to be very tough and it's going to hold its edge and it's never going to rust. However, sometimes with the powder steels, they forget to temper it in such a way that it flexes. But look at that. That has a lot of flex in it. You could really do some good work with that. Get around some rib cages in fish or whatever. And then she loves the handle the most. It's a slim enough handle that it fits nice. It's not going to bear your hand down. It's not going to be like wrapping around a big thing. And a lot of knives out there that use these rubberized handles, especially fillet knives, do so and they just rely on the texture of the rubber to hold on to them. However, this one, they have some thoughtful jimping placed, even along the fingers, down here if you got big hands. If you like that pinch grip up here, it's gonna be really, really grippy. So, like the wetter and more gooey your hands get, this is just gonna get grippier and grippier. The big one goes for $234 and then the small one goes for a little bit less. Both of them have a great amount of flex in them and these really nice sheaths. Man, Benchmade, you are killing it. These are super good. This year at SHOT Show, we saw a guy at the Benchmade booth who had a big fish and he was showing how you could take I think it was a bluefin tuna that they took from just full fish to nicely processed meat, just using one Benchmade Fishcrafter. Very cool, really a great knife. Next up from Spyderco, we have seen the first of the Cru-Carta pair of 3s. So for those of you who are unaware, Cru-Carta is a series that Sal Glesser, who founded Spyderco, now retired, has been pestering his son about making. He's like, we need to make patina hosts. We want to use premium stuff. It's Spyderco after all. They got to use those fancy steels. So we have CPM Cruware, which think Magna cut, just a carbon steel. In fact, at Benchmade, they call Magna cut stainless Cruware. So you're going to get crazy toughness and edge retention, but it's going to darken with time. And then this beautiful natural brown micarta handle. I'm trying not to grab it too hard because I feel like just the oils of my hand are going to start to stain this already. And that is an honor that this knife's owner should have. But yeah, other than that, it's a pair of 3, and the other big change is the liners. One of the reasons Eric Glesser doesn't care for the micarta on a lot of things is because micarta has a tendency to warp as it gets wet and temperatures change. And so he made sure on all of these Cru-Cartas, either on the Shaman, he used a really thick piece of micarta, or here they extended the liners all the way out. So this is not compatible with the Spyderco aftermarket. The scales that go on your average pair of 3 will not go on this because the average pair of 3 has nested liners. But this one, to make sure that micarta never warps on you, has full width liners. So, man, I just love Spyderco. Their commitment to detail and making sure every little thing is perfect is just so good. Very nicely done. And that extends now also to the military 2. So last year we had the paramilitary 2, and now we have the big one. This one's got like this 4-inch blade with this absolutely destroying needle-like tip. Like it's almost going into my finger, just, ugh. It's like a needle. It's incredible how sharp it is. But you don't need to be concerned about it because of how tough Cruware is. Love it. And then once again, full steel liners and these micarta handles. This will darken with time. It'll be a fun knife. It will be distinctly yours in no time. and it will look unlike any other knife out there. So the Para 3 goes for $206 and the Military 2 for $228.75. I will tell you, we did get a shipment of these. However, we had more pre-orders than shipments. So these are going out to customers today. But the rest of you guys, the pre-orders are still open, but we are starting to see them coming in. I'm really excited to see that. Next up, from CJRB, we have the Pyrite with a copper handle. So this copper handle is milled copper. It's not like aluminum anodized that way. It is quite heavy. But I wish you guys could see in there with B-roll, like it is very heavily milled out in the inside. So it's like the steel one, but it's gonna have a bit more heft, which is gonna keep the knife in your hand very nicely. Copper also has a special feature in that it is antimicrobial simply by nature. So if you work in the medical field or if you are concerned with germs and that sort of thing, I would recommend picking up something with one of those antimicrobial features. Copper and brass both have that. But most importantly, copper darkens with time. It starts at this sort of like red pinkish color and then it goes a reddy brown. And it smells a certain way. Some people like the smell, some people don't. I could take it or leave it. Generally, I don't buy a knife for the way it smells. But if you do, copper has a smell. I don't know that titanium really does. Yes, and these ones also have satin finished 20 CV blades. So we're not getting the AR RPM 9, they're taking it up to a very high edge retention and corrosion resistant steel. It'll be a great pick for all of your daily needs. And then next from the Pyrite series, we have the Bowie styles. Dallas is the CJRB buyer over here, and he loves the Bowie. He came to my desk not once, but twice this morning, all just to tell me about how awesome this is. And I think it's a pretty great knife as well. You have a nice broad blade all the way forward, and then the Bowie clips pretty hard. And it gives you a nice precise tip, but still a very robust blade. And when I hear a Bowie, I think of the Wild West and taking your knife to do all the crazy stuff. And I appreciate that they brought that here. We have a fuller that's gonna lighten the blade up a little bit, but you still have a nice stout spine. The tip has enough meat right behind it to make sure it's not gonna break. It's a good hard using knife with that classic Bowie shape. These ones start at $54.95. However, the Bowie will come in all the fancy other variants as well, including that copper one we talked about earlier. So that one will be a little bit more, but it'll have that 20 CV and copper. And last on the table, we have something that I'm very excited to tell you about, which is not technically a knife. This is the Blade HQ and Fix-It Sticks Knife Maintenance Kit. So my buddy Justin Lyons, who is up in one of the buying suite right now, he has been working on this for a long time, and I was hoping it was going to be ready for Christmas last year, because I'll tell you, this is the Christmas present for knife nerds. So it is a Fix-It Sticks collaboration. For those of you who aren't aware of Fix-It Sticks, they are a big name in the gun world for making these ratcheting tool kits. However, a lot of knife nerds like these as well. These tend to be a little pricey, and they don't frequently find their way into collaborations. So we are very lucky to have a Fix-It Sticks collab here. And it comes in with this thing, it comes with this pouch. So we have the original Fix-It stick here. So it's a ratcheting driver. It goes both ways, and if you go in the middle, it just doesn't go either way if I can get it to work today. Anyway, also if you need a little more leverage, you have hex heads in the handle, so you can crank it this way as well. Very clever, and I love the high tooth count here because it is just, like, you barely move that thing and you get a click out of it. So if you're doing some very precise movements or you're working in a confined space, that will do very nicely for you. Then in here we also have from Resurrected Arms is their Awesome Sauce Knife Lube. So keep your knife running smooth. Then from Flytanium we have some blue thread locker, which will be nice. And then the Fix-It stick also comes with this brush for if you're cleaning something out. A selection of bits. We got some Phillips, some flats, and then all the common Torx sizes. And then on the back side, we have a polishing cloth and this 3D printed strop sharpener combo from Doughboy. So a lot of big names have come together to make this knife care kit. And I don't care how many sharpeners and tools and everything you have. There is not a knife nerd alive who wouldn't love to have one of these in their collection, because this can be thrown in a glove box, in your bag, or whatever, and you can take your knife from absolute trash all the way to like new again with just the contents of this for $94.95. So I'm hoping we're going to have stock of these in large quantities by Christmas. These drop this week, by the way. I'm hoping we're going to have these by Christmas time because I'm going to tell you guys, if you're shopping for a knife nerd, just get them this. They will be happy. I personally guarantee it. All right, and before we close out, I have a piece of news for you all. The Blade HQ storefront in Utah is reopening. It had to close during the pandemic. We were very sad, but it is back and it is better than ever. And we are doing a grand opening on May 11th at noon Mountain Standard Time in our parking lot. So you can find our address on our website, and we would love to see as many of you as possible come on May 11th. There will be food, there will be games, there will be giveaways, there will be trivia. There's going to be a lot of fun going on, and we're excited to see you all there. Anyway, thank you all for joining us today on New Knives, and we'll see you next time.